You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth.
What's up, guys? This is another episode of The Clean Truth. I'm Don, I'm your host, and today, Red is back. We're going to do a short little Q&A session here today. We took a little break. We had to do some restructuring internally. We wanted to make some improvements, not only to the podcast, but we had some New Year's stuff with the company to take care of. So I had to take a little break. We have some new things coming out with Clean Eats. We just launched our 2018 New Year's campaign, the Lose, Maintain, Gain. You want to touch on that a little bit?
Sure. So we're working with a new marketing team, Bonsai, and so for our 2018, we came up with this Everybody Fits campaign, which, like you said, is the Lose, Maintain, and Gain program. So we found that, with the New Year's resolutions, that everyone's kind of overwhelmed with what diet to go on, what gym to, get a membership at, how to exercise. I mean, and, I think that New Year's resolution people, they take on way too much in the beginning, and then that's what sets them up for, failure. So
Overthink it.
Yep, overthink it. And at, the cafe, we've always preached that it's a lifestyle. So with this new campaign, it's about not going, I think, extreme either way, right? It's more like lose, this is what you need to do. And it's nothing that they can't handle, maintain, and then the gain part. So we just kind of breaking it down with our meal plans and things in the cafe.
So basically what we did was we just took the menu and our grab and goes and we just made 3 different columns. And when you walk into the restaurant now, you'll see these little icons on products. We'll have one for the lose, one for the maintain, one for the gain. So look for those little charts at a location and ask one of the people at the counter or one of the team members, and they'll explain it to you. It's pretty cool. I also wanted to talk about the Clean Truth why. I wanted to repeat this. I mentioned it one time briefly in one of the other podcasts and just basically explain why we're doing this. It wasn't anything, we're not trying to copy anything or do anything that anybody else is doing. My purpose for this is to be educational for our customers and our franchisees. We get a lot of diet-related questions, lifestyle questions, I guess is a good term for it. The analogy that I used the other day was if you've ever been in one of the restaurants and you see these little information centers with these 9 little cards, a while back we came out with those and they have different questions and different topics on them. And it kind of got a little complicated to explain. So I figured, let's do a podcast on this. Let's come out with an easier way for people to get this information. So not only for customers, but for franchisees also. So there's really no, what am I trying to say? We're not going to try to put anything in a box. We're not going to limit what we'll do with this. But it is going to be Clean Eats related, basically everything Clean Eats. Yeah. So like I said, today we're going to do a Q&A episode. I put it out on social media, asked people to send in some questions. I didn't really think that too many people were going to do it, but they did. We got 25 or 30 good questions. Evonne and I picked out 10 of the best ones that we thought were good and informational and funny. So we're going to dive right into those. The first one is from Kaylee. She asked me, what healthy food should I eat? I'll let you answer that one.
What healthy foods should I eat? So I think that goes into
anything non-processed.
Well, yeah, non-processed. But I also think that it goes into what her goals are too. So, healthy means a lot to a lot of different people. I mean, even with us having the Clean Eats as a name, people, clean to everyone means something different. It could mean organic to some. It could mean vegan to some. It could mean, just balanced portions. So, what healthy food should I eat? So I would say the biggest one would be nothing in a box except Clean Eats meals, right?
That's a good question.
Nothing processed. If it comes in a box, then you're looking at a lot of sodium. So I always try to tell people to shop basically the perimeters of the store. So you should spend a lot of your time in the produce and fruit section, right? And then the meat section, and then venture around to the dairy section. So stay out of the middle aisles. Most of the stuff in the middle, besides the carbs, the healthy carbs, I would say, is not in the healthy range, right?
No.
Okay.
The next one is from Justin. Is your chicken hormone free? Come on, man. Funny story about this one. We get this all the time in the cafe. And when I used to work the register every day at the Racine location, people would ask me this all the time. And I would just kind of look at them and, say, look at me, man. Do you think that I'm going to eat anything that doesn't have any hormones in it? No. But no, to answer your question, yes, it is hormone free.
Well, I think a lot of people don't know. For those of you guys who don't know, we have a USDA facility where we have an inspector in there every single day, and we do the prepackaged meals for Europa and do a wholesale accounts. And so I've learned a lot with having those USDA inspectors in there. And so I always ask them, like, hey, this hormone thing, but, they don't allow anything to pass through that has hormones in them. So, I mean, all of your meats and chickens are hormone free when they get to the final process of that. Now, what they do, 10 days before the animal gets killed is a whole nother story. But, the inspector always told me, he's like, we don't pass any meats that have hormones in them anyway. So, it's kind of a marketing labeling thing, what people are, used to.
Next question is from Sarah. Does Evonne ever get mad at you for making fun of her? And why do you call her red? Well, hell yeah, she gets mad at me. Yes, she does get mad at me. And why do I call her red? She's a redhead. That kind of came out last night. I saw it firsthand. I don't know. Explain it. Do you ever get mad at me?
Oh, I'm always mad at you. So, do I ever get mad at you for posting? Yeah. I mean, like, I can't ever fuck up, I guess, without you putting it all over social media. And the bad thing is that I'm not even on social media. So, I don't even know that he posts something until someone has said something to me at the gym or at the cafe. And then I have to go on there and see what you actually posted. So I would say that you could probably be worse to me because I do have, even though I'm red.
Oh, I don't have access to the radio here. Back in St. Louis, we had this little show on 105.7 The Point that was pretty popular. It was called Bitch Be Trippin'. And Evonne was a regular guest on that show, not by choice. I would send inquiries in on that show on her on purpose all the time. So
I really am red, but sometimes I do act a little blonde. Just saying.
The next question is from Tracy. Why are there no clean eats on the West Coast? That's a very good question. We haven't franchised on the West Coast because it's a little harder to manage. Flights to the West Coast are expensive.
Isn't it a registered state?
Not all of them.
Not all of them.
It really just comes down to management. A lot of franchises do that when they start to come up with a development plan or figure out where they're going to put locations. They try to do it in clusters to where it's easier to manage and maintain. We started in Wilmington and just kind of went from the southeast North Carolina out and just kind of grew from there. Even right now, we just stay east of the Mississippi because they're short flights. We can get there in 2 hours if we have to. If there's a really big emergency, it's kind of hard to get to Portland, Oregon in just a couple hours on an airplane. So that's the reason why we don't do that. We will eventually get out there.
Is Dallas considered West Coast?
I wouldn't think so. So the next question is from Ben. Are you and Evonne ever going to compete again? Damn it, I hate getting asked this question. I don't know, Ben. I don't know. Right now,
feel
no.
A comeback coming? Comeback?
Right now, no. I don't have any desire to compete again. I don't know. I did a couple national level shows. Her and I did a pro qualifier together. That sport's changed internally. Just the way it's done, the way it's ran now. I don't know. Right now I have a sour taste in my mouth for that industry, I'll say. Not the sport, the industry, which makes me why I don't really want to compete. Not to mention what we're doing with the business. I just don't have the time. But even if I did have the time, I don't really think that I would right now.
I don't think our customers really do want you to compete anymore, do they?
Why?
You're not very nice when you're hangry.
Why do I always get blamed for the bad shit?
So just a quick story. I prefer him not to compete while we are in business still. So when Don competed, was it the last show? Well, I mean, any show, we always had a chair, he had timeout. So, I'm not saying like most men, but most men, you don't plan your day very well. So like your meal would be like right at noon that's when everyone wants to come in the cafe and eat is at noon, right? So he would think that he would have to eat at noon. Well, chances are we probably have a line out the door and he would just grow angry and angry. And then you could just see him like flip. So we have to go like to timeout. So he'd have to go timeout, eat his chicken and rice, come back so he could be. How many reviews did you get?
There was a few.
Yeah. Like
But
we
I made
got
it right.
1-star reviews.
I apologize.
What was the funniest one that they called you? The raging
They called me the tattooed roid freak at the counter. Anyway, moving on. The next one is from Beth. She says, I love the new sauces. Are they sugar-free?
No,
not all of them.
No. So we developed the new sauces so that we made sure that they didn't have high fructose corn syrup in them. So a lot of the new sauces, they contain agave nectar in them. I don't know if you even know that. Did you know that they had that? Agave nectar?
No.
Okay.
I knew they didn't have any more preservatives in them, though.
Yeah. And so actually, instead of putting the preservatives into it, we used agave and we actually use regular sugar because, I think if you want something sweet, it's better to do that than, the artificial.
I know the flavor profiles on the new sauces are a lot better than the ones we started with.
Yeah. So we try to use, you can always ask for the ingredients and there's very few ingredients in them now. So pretty proud of that.
Next one is from Rob. What is the Boston Mass on your menu named after? We get asked that one a lot too. I actually had some lady come in and yell at me. She thought it was, she thought we were making fun of the Boston Massacre. And I gave her a weird look and I said, are you kidding me? Come on.
There was a review too on that
one. Yeah. No, the Boston Mass on our menu is named after a friend of ours who's a pro bodybuilder, Jose Raymond. He's from Boston and his nickname is the Boston Mass. The reason that we did that was the first 3 years that we were here, he was the guest poser for the Gold's Classic that's held here in Wilmington. And, we got to know him because the promoter, Mike Valentino, I basically was his babysitter for 3 or 4 days while he was here. We got to train with him. It was really cool. Jose's very well known in the bodybuilding industry. So to walk into Gold's and be able to train with him and hang out for 3 or 4 days, that was pretty cool. And, he promoted clean eats the whole time, the week after, and treated Evonne and I like family, really, for that time period. He hasn't been back in a few years, but we were joking around that last year he was here, and he asked if we'd name something after him on the menu, so we did it. And it stuck. And I mean, to be honest with you, that quesadilla is honestly one of our most popular menu items.
I actually had it for lunch today.
It's pretty good. The next one is from Andrew, and he says, Don, who's winning the World Series?
Cubs.
No.
Cubs.
Andrew, I'm from St. Louis, man. It's always going to be the Cardinals. That's my vote. The next one is from Travis. Travis Gillig. I know who you are, buddy. He wants to know if my deep-rooted hatred for Bon Jovi is an actual secret love affair. No. I can't stand Bon Jovi. For those who are interested in knowing why and where this came from, it was kind of an inside joke. When I was a carpenter, we would listen to K-Shi every day on every job site I was ever on. It was always K-Shi. And it's just it's a hard rock station, for those that don't know. And every 10 fucking minutes was a Bon Jovi song. And if it wasn't Bon Jovi, it was Pink Floyd. So Pink Floyd and Bon Jovi always makes me cringe when I hear it because I listened to them for 15 years, every 10 minutes of my freaking life. That and he just sounds stupid and he looks dumb.
But for everyone that keeps sending Bon Jovi gifts, you can stop now.
Yeah.
So we have Bon Jovi CDs. We have a Bon Jovi
They
nightgown,
send this shit to my house.
hats. Like,
I just
we
threw the
eventually
stocking
find
cap
out
away
who
this
you
morning,
are.
Chris Hollingsworth. Thank you.
Bon Jovi coloring book.
Yeah.
I mean, we've gotten so much Bon Jovi. Where I don't even know where they find this stuff at. So even though you don't sign your name to it, we do find out. So please stop with the Bon Jovi apparel.
The last one, number 10, is from Jen. What do you and Evonne want to do when you retire? Drink margaritas.
No.
I don't know. Jen, I think I'm retired already. I mean, if you like what you do, you're not working, right? Or is that cliche? That's
so.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
I just want to be where I can be mean. I want to own a business where, like, what's that restaurant back home?
I'm pointing to a whiteboard behind me that said, "Res my bulldog."
Like, what's the Dick's?
Dick's Last Resort.
Yeah, don't they go? Doesn't people like go in there and like the waiter?
Yeah, they
like
make
insults
fun
them
of you on the little hats.
Yeah, so I kind of want to like have. I keep joking, like I want to have the what's the grocery store down at Wrightsville Beach? What's his name? Robert's Grocery. I want Robert's Grocery, but I just want to be mean to everyone who comes in and like throw apples at them.
So you want to turn it into the soup Nazi?
Yeah. Well, like we've been in customer service for I like being nice to people, but at some point I just want to be able to be mean. Is that bad?
I'm used to it.
I mean, old people, they just say whatever they want, right? Yeah. So I figured when I retire, I'm going to be old. So, like I can just start being mean. My grandmother was always mean. So,
Jen, my serious answer, all jokes aside, I don't know. I mean, in the last couple of years of us being a franchise and me learning different business tactics and ideas on the fly and having to learn it at an accelerated rate because we were very fortunate enough to have Clean Eats, grow the way that it did. I don't know. I'd like to do something in, I don't want to say business consulting. That's too cliche too, but I don't know. I like taking an idea and making it grow. Now, whether that can turn into a business, hell, I don't know. But
somebody probably needs to support me if I'm going to be mean at my next job.
You're going to give away soup. All righty. Well, guys, those are the 10 questions that we picked. I guess we're going to wrap it up for the day. We will be in St. Louis coming up here in a couple of weeks to open up Edwardsville, Illinois. That's where Evonne and I came from. That's where we started Locale Cafe. Sarah Sanderson is the franchisee there. And I think we're actually going to do a podcast there remotely.
With the old customers.
And she's going to be dishing dirt on me, I think, is the topic of that one. She's going to kind of pull some of my skeletons out of the closet from my childhood. So Sarah and I grew up together. We went to high school together. She's known me for a very long time. I've been friends with her brother and her mom for a while. So she should have some interesting shit to bring out about me. So we'll see. But anyway, guys, thanks for listening. If you haven't subscribed, go to iTunes, subscribe to the podcast, and leave some feedback for me on social media. Thanks, guys.
See ya.